Hi, I'm Melanie, also known as MYA Yoga, and this is Shadow Mark the cat. Today, we'll be leading you through a 40-minute physical yoga flow, marrying breath with movement. You'll need a yoga mat, comfortable clothes, and a block can be really helpful. Whilst the flow is quite slow, some parts might be a little bit demanding, but take your time. Let's begin. Come to a seated position, hands on top of thighs. Make sure you feel comfortable, and then close down your eyes. Maybe taking the shoulders all the way up towards the ears and rolling them back, feeling as if you're sitting a little taller on your spine. Start to draw attention to your inhales and your exhales. Just noticing how it feels to inhale and how it feels to exhale. Remembering that the breath is an anchor. And as you move through your meditation and your practice, as the mind starts to wander, we use the breath as an anchor to bring us back to the present moment. Our physical practice is a way for us to connect with our breath and with the present moment. So as we move through our physical practice, we're not trying to force ourselves into shapes, but rather can we connect more authentically with our breath as we move physically through our practice. Come back to your inhales and your exhales. And then when you're ready, slowly blinking open the eyes, joining me back in the room. From a seated position, take the soles of the feet together, coming into Baddha Konasana. You could take the feet as close to your groin as you are comfortable with, allowing the soles of the feet to press against each other. Slowly take fingertips to the ground and fold forwards. Keep the spine long and the gaze low. Connect with your breath. As you inhale, you feel a growth through your spine. And as you exhale, you may find yourself folding a millimetre or two lower. Keep pressing the soles of the feet together as you inhale and as you exhale. And slowly take the fingers back up. We're going to come round onto our hands and knees into a tabletop position. I'm going to move through a couple cat-cows, pelvic tilts. So as you inhale, the tummy comes down, the chest comes forward and the chin comes up, gazing up. As you exhale, tuck the chin, lifting the chest and lifting the belly as you press into the palms. Inhale, coming forward, arching the spine. Exhale, rounding the back, shoulder blades coming away from each other. One more time, inhaling and exhaling. Coming back to a neutral spine, you're going to take a few hip circles. So start to move the hips towards the right in a clockwise motion, maybe going about 3 times. And then moving to the other side, taking the hips towards the right and coming back into an anti-clockwise position. Just as if you are oiling up your hips and your joints, moving slowly. Take the left knee in towards the chest, take it out towards the side, and then take it backward as if you were drawing a circle with the knee. Take the knee forward, taking it out towards the side, and then circling it backward. One more time with the inhale as you come forward, and as you exhale, circling back. Taking it back into the opposite direction. So first going backwards and then circling the leg towards the side. Taking that 3 times. And then taking the left knee down, let's do the right hand side. Inhale, the right knee comes forward and exhale out to the side and circling backward. 2 more times, marrying the breath if possible with the movement. And then when you've done 3, We take the knee out behind us and out to the side, moving in the opposite direction. And taking the right knee down onto the mat, let's tuck our toes and come back to a kneeling position. You can untuck the toes if that feels uncomfortable. You have the option to take a block and place it underneath the sit bones. That can give you a bit of extra support. And if the knees feel painful in this position, just come out and sit on your sit bones with legs out in front of you. So whichever position you are in, take the arms out in front of you, forearms together. Interlace the fingers and start rolling the wrists one way. And these can be quite small movements, or it can be quite big movements, and then roll them in the other direction. And take the hands, palms facing away from each other. Give yourself a stretch ahead of you, and then take them above the head, maybe gazing up, taking them over to the right hand side and then the left, gaze staying down or going with the fingertips. And then unlace the fingers and flutter them down onto the mat. Let's come back into that tabletop position. Lift our sit bones and come into downward facing dog. Take some movements to get comfortable, looking like you're in an upside down V, maybe coming forward into a plank and then pushing the sit bones back. And take some generous deep bends in your knees, especially if you have tight hamstrings. Maybe bending one knee at a time or both together. And then find some stillness in your downward facing dog. Pressing into your palms, focusing that energy onto the index finger and the thumb. And imagine your sit bones are being pulled up towards the sky as your heels gently come down. Come to your tiptoes and start to slowly walk the feet towards the hands, keeping the legs straight for as long as you can and then bending into the knees, taking the feet behind the wrists. Grab opposite elbows and hang heavy, taking the tummy down to the thighs and maybe rocking from side to side if that feels good. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, melt a bit closer towards your thighs. Deep inhale as the belly grows. And exhale. And slowly unwind the hands and start peeling your spine upwards. So we're coming to standing really, really slowly, taking your time. Once you reach the top of your mat, reach the arms up and come onto the tiptoes. Let's try that one more time. Come all the way up onto your tiptoes, reach the arms really high, stretching the whole body. Wobbles are good, and then slowly come down. We're going to come to stand at the top of our mat. Find a comfortable standing position, one that feels grounded and rooted. Your feet may be hip distance apart, or if your feet naturally feel quite stable when they're together, you can be there. Hands are by your sides, maybe the palms are facing forward. Your gaze is forward at a fixed position or to the tip of your nose. Just take a few inhales and exhales here, feeling very grounded and rooted in Tadasana, like a strong and stable mountain. Remember that our practice is anchored in our breath, and try to take that with you as you move through the practice today. Let's take our arms all the way up towards the sky as you inhale. And as you exhale, forward fold Uttanasana. Take the palms to the mat and bend your knees as much as you need. As you inhale, come to your shins, lengthen the spine, lengthen the legs. Exhale, forward fold, palms down onto the mat again. Inhale, take the hands to the thighs and arch the spine as if you're in cat-cow. And exhale, round the spine. Inhale, arch the spine, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, forward fold, palms to the mat, root through the feet. Inhale, hands to shins, lengthen the spine, lengthen the legs, maybe looking forward. Exhale, forward fold once again. Inhale, root through your feet, rise all the way up, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do that again 2 more times. Inhale, lifting the arms all the way above us. Exhale, hinge at the hips, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, lengthen the spine, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring the hands to the thighs, arch the spine, look up. Exhale, rounding the spine, rounding the shoulders. Inhale, arching the spine, lifting the chest. Exhale, fold forward, bend your knees, palms to the mat. Inhale, hands to shins, lengthen the spine, lengthen the legs, Ardha Uttanasana. Fold forward on the exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, lifting the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale, lift the arms above the head. Exhale, fold forward, palms to the mat, Uttanasana. Inhale, hands to shins, lengthen the spine, lengthen the legs. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands to thighs, arch the spine, gaze up. Exhale, round the spine, round the shoulders. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, fold forward, back into Uttanasana. Inhale, hands to shins, lengthen the spine, lengthen the legs. Exhale, fold forward, rooting through your feet. As you inhale, lift yourself all the way up, arms come above you. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's take a few breaths here. Inhaling and exhale. Let's move on. Inhaling, lifting the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, palms to the mat. Inhale, hands to shins, lengthen the spine and the legs. Exhale, fold, this time stepping it back to plank. Send your sit bones back and come into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift the right foot up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Bend the knee and take the foot towards the sitting bones, opening up the hips. Keep pressing through the palms, turning the chest towards the mat as you squeeze that heel in towards the sitting bones. And take the right knee in towards the chest and place the right foot between the hands. Find a bit of stability before you lift yourself up into a high lunge, high on the tiptoes of the left foot. Take the hands onto the hips, checking that both hip bones are facing forward, and then take your arms behind you, interlacing the fingers. Ground the back foot so it points out towards the left-hand side at about a 45-degree angle, and draw the fist down before folding forward, taking the right shoulder into the inside of the right leg, Baddha Virabhadrasana, Humble Warrior. Squeeze through a midline and encourage that right hip back to the center if it's wanting to fall out towards the side. Take an inhale and an exhale. Take an inhale and another exhale. One more in and one more out. Slowly come back up to a high lunge, high on those tiptoes of the back foot, lifting the arms, and then taking the hands down onto the mat, onto the inside of the right foot. Coming into lizard pose, Uttan Prishtasana. So your option to rock back and forth on the left toes, or maybe taking the left knee down onto the mat, maybe taking the forearms down onto the mat as well, starting with the left forearm furthest away from the knee. We're taking a few breaths here. Whichever option you're in, squeeze through a midline, again encouraging that hip that might want to come out to the side, just back into towards the center. Take a deep inhale here and a deep exhale, exploring the sensations this pose is bringing to your body. Take the palms up if you're on your forearms, tuck in the back toe, and then step that right foot back. Come into a child's pose. So take the sit bones back, maybe tuck in the toes, and allowing the forehead to come down onto the mat. Take a breath or two here. And then let's move to the left-hand side. Come into your downward dog, and then the left foot comes up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Bend the left knee and open the hip to the side, squeezing the left heel towards the hips whilst rooting down through your palms. Keep squeezing that heel towards the sit bones. And then take the left knee towards the chest, step the left foot between the palms, finding stability before you rise up into high lunge. And we're taking our hands to our hips, finding our hip bones facing forward, grounding that right foot to a 45-degree angle out to the sides, and taking the palms behind you, draw the hands down towards the mat before folding forward, taking the arms overhead. Left shoulder onto the inside of the left leg, Baddha Virabhadrasana, Humble Warrior. Again, if the left hip is wanting to come out towards the side, we squeeze through the midline, engaging the core and allowing the hips to come back to an imaginary center line. Slowly start to draw the palms back and lift yourself back into that high lunge. And take the hands down onto the mat inside the left foot into lizard pose, Uttan Prishtanasana. Taking a variation of your choice, maybe that's taking the right knee down, maybe it's coming down onto the forearms, whatever feels right. And it might be slightly different to the other side. So you can always take a bit of an exploration, seeing what feels right. And then take a few breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. And slowly, when you're ready, take the palms onto the mat if you are on your forearms. Tuck in the back toe and step yourself back to plank. Dropping the knees, come into child's pose once again. Toes can be tucked. Then lift the sit bones back up into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, for 3 breaths. As you inhale, press down through the palms. As you exhale, lift the sit bones up towards the sky. Inhaling and exhaling. One more in and one more out. Come high onto the tiptoes, bend the knees and look between the palms, and step or hop yourself to the front of the mat. Hands come onto the shins, lengthen the spine and the legs, and then fold forward, palms to the mat. Rooting through your feet, lift yourself all the way up, and then take the hands into heart center, Samastiti. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, folding forward, palms to the mat, Uttanasana. Inhale, hands to shins or to fingertips, lengthen the spine and the legs. Exhale, palms down, step it back to plank, and take the sit bones back, come into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Right foot lifts up towards the sky, 3-legged dog. Bending the knee and opening up the hip as we did before, squeezing the heel towards the glutes. Keep squeezing that heel, pressing through the palms. Then take the right knee towards the chest and place the foot in between the palms. Finding your stability first, then lift yourself into a high lunge. You can take your arms overhead. You can interlace the fingers with the index finger pointing out in Kali Mudra, or you can grab opposite elbows, lifting the chest. Keep taking both of those hip bones facing forward, squaring out the hips. Take an inhale and an exhale. And take the arms up, open them wide, grounding the back foot down, and open the hips out to the wide edge of the mat. Coming into Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. You can adjust the hips with the hands if that helps. Arms are at shoulder height, and the gaze or drishti is at the front middle finger. Our gaze is like our breath, a tool to help us focus on the present moment. Take an inhale and an exhale, maybe bending deeper into that front knee. Now take that right forearm, place it onto the right thigh, or you can take it onto a block next to the inside edge of a leg, or take the palm onto the mat. And take the left arm up ahead of you, opening the chest first, before taking the arm next to the ear above the head, gazing down at the palm or under the armpit. Coming into extended side angle pose, Utthita Parshvanottanasana. Take an inhale and an exhale. The right arm and the right leg can support each other here. And look down, taking the arms up and coming through Warrior Two, back into high lunge and framing the right foot with your hands. Step that right foot back, drop the knees and come into a child's pose. Take the sit bones back towards the heels, forehead on the mat. Coming back to the breath, if the breath has got erratic, and taking a few moments. As you inhale, you feel the tummy inflate next to the thighs. And as you exhale, you allow that breath to travel around your body. When you're ready, we're slowly going to come back into a downward facing dog. Let's move to the left hand side, lifting the left foot up towards the sky, bending the left knee and opening up the hip towards the side of the room. You can gaze underneath that right armpit, looking for that left foot if you like, and keep pressing through the palms. Draw the left knee in towards the chest, place the left foot in between the palms, again finding your stability before you lift yourself up into that high lunge. Taking the arm variation that you feel comfortable with, and maybe taking the hands onto the hips, feeling and noticing that both hip bones are facing forward. If you take opposite elbows, you can start to take the arm slightly behind the ears, and you can bend into that front knee a little deeper if you like. Take an inhale and an exhale. We're opening up to Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So ground that back foot. Hips are open towards the left hand side of the room. Arms are at shoulder height. And your drishti gaze is at the left middle finger. Taking a deeper bend into that front knee if you feel that that is something you want to explore. And taking an inhale here as you root through the feet and you root through the edge of that back foot. Left forearm comes onto left thigh, or the left palm can come down onto a block or onto the mat next to the left foot. We reach the right arm up towards the sky, opening the chest before taking the right hand overhead. Coming into extended side angle pose, Utthita Parshvanottanasana. Gaze again is at the right hand. It can be under the armpit or it can be on the floor if you need a bit of balance. Slowly coming up, out of the pose, through our high lunge, and then framing the left foot with our hands, stepping it back to plank. Send the sit bones back. We're coming back into downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take an inhale and an exhale. If the breath has got erratic, we have a chance here to get a bit more control back. Inhaling and exhale. One more in, one more out. Come to the tiptoes, bend the knees, look between the palms, step or hop it to the front of the mat. Come to fingertips or hands on shins, and then fold forward on your exhale. Rooting through your feet, lift yourself all the way up, arms come overhead, and then hands come down to heart center, Samastiti. Take the arms by their sides, and let's take a few breaths, a few moments of introspection here, standing in our strong and stable Tadasana mountain pose. Take a deep inhale, lift the arms up. And as you exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana, palms to the mat. Inhale, hands to shins. Lengthen the spine and the legs. Exhale, plant the palms, step it back to plank. Press yourself into downward facing dog. And we're going to come to our tiptoes and drop our knees down, coming into a seated position. We'll take the legs out long in front of us, and we're going to come into Paschimottanasana. Forward fold. So lift the arms up high, and as you exhale, fold forward. Allow the palms to come either onto the shins, maybe to the thighs, or you can take peace fingers and wrap them around the big toes. What we want to achieve is maintaining length in the spine rather than rounding forward. So wherever you are, feel that there's a lift in your chest. Maybe marrying up an inhale with this feeling of growing taller in your spine, and the exhale, you may feel that you have a bit more space to fold forward. Let's come slowly out of it. This time bend the knees, and we're going to fold forward once again, lifting our arms up and folding over our legs. Let's take our tummy all the way down to our thighs. Our head can be nestled in our shins or our knees, and our hands can just drape either to the side or they can be on our feet. Enjoy that slow and steady rounding of the spine. Inhaling and exhaling. Slowly bring yourself back up. We're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. So take the legs as wide as is comfortable. You want to feel a little bit of sensation, but you don't want to be in pain. Upavista Konasana, wide leg forward fold. We inhale and lift our spine. And then as we exhale, we can take the hands onto the mat in front of us. They may be on a block. You may be quite high up, or you may want to take the palms onto the mat, maybe even the forearms, if that is what is working for you today. Let's close down the eyes and look inward, drawing our attention back to the breath, the slow inhales, the coolness on the top lip, the nourishing exhales, the warmth in the nostrils. If you're comfortable, you can always fold a little deeper. Otherwise, where you are is perfect for what we're doing right now. Slowly, very gently, lift the body up. Bend the right knee and place the right sole of a foot onto the inside edge of the left leg. Take the hand down the left leg, maybe grabbing peace fingers round toes. Lifting the left arm up and over, coming into a side stretch. The hand may be on the shin, it may be on the thigh. We're just opening up the chest as if you're gazing underneath the armpit up towards the sky. Take an inhale and an exhale, slowly coming back to center. Let's switch around the legs. Take in the left sole of a foot into the inside edge of the right leg, and taking the hand down the right leg. Maybe the thigh, maybe the shin, maybe peace fingers around the big toe. Gaze up as you lift the left arm up and over, coming into a side stretch. This side might be very different to the other side. There's no worry and no need for comparison. We're just working in the present moment with how our body is feeling today. Slowly bring yourself back up and take the legs into a cross-legged position. Maybe wiggling the legs if they feel a little tight. And coming into another forward fold. Take the fingers out in front of you, lengthen the spine, and then slowly walk the palms forward slightly. Take an inhale and a slow, steady exhale. One more in and one more out. Let's slowly walk ourselves back up, and we're going to come down onto the mat, onto our backs now. So you can lower yourself down gently, however you get there. Bending the knees, soles of the feet on the mat. Taking the right knee, crossing it over the left thigh, right knee coming out towards the side, right foot is flexed. Coming into figure of four. So you can stay there, or you can lift the left knee in towards the chest, taking the hand underneath the thigh or underneath the knee, drawing the left knee in towards the chest. Now if you like, you can use the elbow to press against that right thigh, but if you do this, just meet that elbow with a little bit of resistance, so that it's a bit more of an active stretch rather than just pushing open the right thigh. Take an inhale and another exhale. And slowly take the feet back onto the mat and switch the sides over. So cross the left leg over the right, left knee coming out towards the side, and then taking the hands underneath the thigh or underneath the knee, or you can keep the right sole of the foot on the mat. Slow inhale and slow exhale. Slowly take the feet back onto the mat and take a moment just noticing the sensations in the legs and the hips. We're going to lengthen out the left leg and draw the right knee in towards the chest, then place the right sole of the foot facing up towards the ceiling. You can grab underneath the thigh, behind the calf, above the ankle, or to the edge of the right foot. First draw the knee in towards the armpit, and then take the leg a little wider. Keeping the left hand on the top of the left thigh in case the thigh is wanting to lift. Slowly taking the right foot back onto the mat. Take a moment to notice the difference between the right hand side and the left hand side. Then take the left knee into the chest, and again we take the hand maybe behind the thigh, the calf, or above the ankle or the edge of the left foot. Draw the knee in towards the armpit first before taking the foot out towards the side a little more. Right hand stays on top of right hip. Really exploring that sensation in the groin, noticing the feelings. And slowly we'll take the left foot back onto the mat, lengthen it out down the mat. Again, noticing the difference or the similarities between the right and left hand side. Now let's move to full happy baby. Knees in towards the chest, and then grabbing again underneath the thighs, the back of the calves, above the ankles or the edges of the feet. Draw the knees in towards the armpits first, and then take the feet out a little bit wider. We're moving through the sensation in our groin, maybe exploring a little deeper, or maybe staying where you feel comfortable today. Take a deep inhale and a nourishing exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. If you like, you can draw the legs a little wider apart. Staying here just for a few more moments. And then ever so gently and slowly, take the feet together and place them back onto the mat. Take them as wide as the mat and drop the knees from side to side like a little windscreen wiper action. And draw the knees in towards the chest. Really squeeze the knees into the chest, maybe rolling side to side in the spine. Draw the nose up towards the knees. And we're going to squeeze and tense everything before we come down to our last pose, Shavasana. Legs are as wide as the mat, feet dropping out to the side. Arms are away from the torso with palms facing up. We close down the eyes or we keep the gaze low. And we're here to reap the benefits of our physical practice. Allow those benefits to seep into our body, our muscles, our mind. And we drop any control of the breath here. We want to tap into a deeper feeling of relaxation. So draw attention to the left toe, the smallest toe. Feeling that it's very heavy and relaxed. And this sensation travels to the other toes on the left foot and the big toe, the top of the foot and the sole of the foot, the heel and the ankle. So the whole foot feels relaxed. This sensation travels up the left leg, the left knee, left thigh, to the hips and the pelvis. This feeling of relaxation, almost as if you're melting into the mat. This travels down the right leg, the right thigh, the right knee, the right shin and the right calf, all the way to the ankle, the heel of the foot, the sole of the foot, all the toes. So the whole of the bottom half of the body is feeling relaxed, heavy, melting into the earth. The sensation travels from the hips and the pelvis, up the torso, the tummy, the spine, the ribs, all the way to the shoulders and down the arms, top of the arms, forearms, down to the palms, the fingers and the back of the hands. So both of the arms feels as if they're melting into the mat. Finally, the sensation travels all the way to the neck, the jaw, the mouth, the nose, the eyes, the back of the head, the third eye and the crown of the head. So the whole of your body is enveloped in this deep relaxation, this stillness. And we'll just enjoy this for a few more moments. Start to draw awareness back to the body, deepening the breath, maybe wiggling fingers and toes, rolling wrists and ankles. Take a full body stretch, arms overhead pointing the toes, and then draw the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug, rolling on the spine, and then coming over to one side, or rolling yourself up. Push yourself up, keeping the eyes closed or the gaze low, and we're coming back to where we started, into this seated meditation position. Invite you to place the left hand on your heart, the right hand on top of the left, spending a few moments to express gratitude to yourself for carving out some time in the day to practice, and to your body and your mind for allowing you to practice. I'm inviting you to pay a small compliment to yourself that you're able to take with you for the rest of the day, making you smile when you need it the most. I'm going to take a little bow to thank you for practicing with me. And when you're ready, blink open the eyes. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope to see you soon.